Ooh, we're finally back. It is a new day, a new dawn here on In Conversation with Zoe. So excited that Formula One has brought me back. So today marked the first race of the new season 2022, and there's a lot to be excited for and a lot to be worried about because there's new regulations. There is still unanswered questions from Abu Dhabi, the final race of 2021. But the interesting part is every news is great news for us journalists and for brands and for even people these days, because can I break to you that the mishap and misrepresentation, misunderstanding, and misapplication of the rules from Abu Dhabi 2021 has now caught the eye of a lot of people, and they are now interested and invested in Formula One, as myself and perhaps you, because I'm sure that you're watching this because you're interested in Formula One, or you definitely have an interest somehow somewhere. So Formula One has gained a lot from the bad press, from the almighty Lewis Hamilton silence, from the fan backlash, from the hullabaloo, from everything, the North, everything that went wrong last year. And was it 98 days without Formula One, especially with the whole craziness of how the season ended. It was such a personal season for a lot of us. Even as a journalist, I last season was super personal. I could not even report, or I could not journal anything. I was a super fan. I was just a fan for last season, but this season, no. I'm going back to work. And so I'm presenting 5 subtopics on, within the next 10 minutes. Here's what I want to bring out to you. Number 1, the report, the FIA's findings, and Max and Red Bull, Lewis and Mercedes, new regulations, predictions / Ferrari. So these are the subtopics I want us to, just look into. But before I go any further, we still need answers, and I'm sure it's not gonna come. So let's just satisfy ourselves and provide ourselves a cushion with the FIA report that blamed human error for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix controversy that saw Max Verstappen win the race and got crowned the winner of the 2021 Formula One championship season, as against Lewis Hamilton, who had done everything right to win it. But then human error. Of course, the human error here, quote unquote, is Michael Massey, who made a very petty call, and then with the whole back and forth over team radio with Toto Wolff and Christian Horner, it felt like he was favoring one and not the other. And the report also suggests that they were, this human error was Michael Massey trying to please the fans and give them a show, like they would have wanted the grand finale. It would definitely put Formula One in a better light, greater light, and everything great. One would say, of all the times to try out something not on a very intense stage, such as the grand finale, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, not that time. You could have done it any other time, not that race. But you know what? It's done. And another takeaway from that report, it's like an innuendo. It's a suggestion an undertone somewhere is that it was Mercedes's fault for not proceeding with the appeal. And I mean, every fan, which I was last year, we are right to blame Mercedes because we all said push this further, take it to the highest court, and court of arbitration or whatever and everything. But they chickened out, and here we are. Max is gonna stay the champion of last year, and they cannot do anything about it. So that's gone. You leak your wins and you move on. So now let's move on then. So let us talk about Lewis's chances. Last year is gone. He was not crowned the winner because he didn't lose the season. But again, Mercedes's race today. Let me bring in today's race. Today's race was a great eye opener. I mean, from testing, we thought that just the build of Mercedes gives them a good durability chance, unlike they've had in a while. Maybe the past 3 years where they've had reliability problems and issues and concerns, and they put their car floor pretty low to get more grounds with the slow speed corners, to just maximize the bodywork and everything that they can do, just like Red Bull was using against them for the past 2 years now. That slow speed, slow corner speed had helped them this past 2 years, and Mercedes had been just working with straight line speed, and then last year Red Bull gained straight line speed and used that against them. So it's just been there and here. You lose here, you gain some here, and all of that. But let's look at Mercedes's chances. First, let me look at the dynamics within Mercedes. Yes, we know them. Lewis Hamilton, if you like to argue with it or not, he's the greatest driver. However, there is a new boy, George Russell. He's British, and we all know how loyalty lies. The whole patriotism thing, and a lot of people would say that because he's the younger driver, Mercedes should invest in him and build their car around him. There's been a lot of press for him, which is great. I mean, he's English, so yeah, he would gain a lot of press because Formula One again is pretty powerful in Europe. It's a very it's a great sport here. It is the European sport. But personally, I know I'm not the only one that shares this sentiment. I think that there is going to be a lot of unsaid words that might not bode well for the team dynamics. Yes, Lewis Hamilton is number one, even in the team. But then, would Russell be as... Even Valtteri Bottas could not take the whole team dynamics last year because he knew he was leaving, and he thought, I can now unleash my dragon and just follow my mind and just have my say. What would George Russell, who has shown glimpses here and there that he's pretty vocal, as calm as he is or looks, I mean, he can be pretty rash. I mean, he's a Y2K child, or like I like to say, he's not a millennial. He is a Gen Z, and pretty vocal, very defiant, and all of that. I mean, putting all these personality traits together with the team dynamics, that's pretty, very structural. I think there is going to be a problem. Maybe not so much for this season, but then Lewis has a contract till next season. If Lewis Hamilton does not win this year's championship, I'm sorry, but I would be convinced that would be it for him. He would then become another old boy like Fernando Alonso, Sebastian Vettel that will be there to just color the face of Formula One, and that's not what he wants. I mean, anyways, so Mercedes are popping up and down. They're having a lot of bumps in their car engine make. I don't know what's going on there, but if it's not fixed by, if there is no improvement by next Sunday, the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, then I think they would just, keep licking their wounds and playing damage limitation cards, because it's the body language of Total Wolf that's actually doing my head in. Like, it felt like all their emotions were invested in at the end of last season, and then they've lost it. That's just what I'm reading, especially with today's lucky third and fourth. So Max in Red Bull and Sergio Perez lost out today because of engine issues, which is not clear. But I mean, next week we get a clearer picture into what happened. Was it a steering failure, hydraulic issue? Was it an engine combustion? What went wrong? Because the two cars had the same grumbling, and a similar situation with the first car that was DNF'd, which is Gasly's car. We'll find out. But then, is this reliability issue going to be a problem for them? They are the most durable car, so it seems. Ferrari are looking like the fastest car at the moment. That brings me to, and I'm sorry for skipping between points, but trending on Twitter is calmer. Well, we all know what that's suggesting. It is suggesting that, Red Bull are eating the dust based on what they sold last year. What goes around comes around. But then it's only one race, guys. Come on. Even if we want to karma, you would really wish it the whole season, won't you? Just say. Are Ferrari the fastest car? They've shown brilliant glimpses here and there in the past 2 seasons with Charles, and now with Sainz to pushing one another. Are the Tifosis really back? It is brilliant. You know what I think? I think if these three makers, the Ferrari, the Red Bull, and the Mercedes, are evenly powered with different, styles and balances and strengths and weaknesses as well to balance them out, I think this would be one of the greatest season. I would wish for 3 engine makers to be slogging it out in front, not 2, because then, well, personally, I would feel like, it would then cancel out Lewis Hamilton's chances of getting that eighth world championship, which I'm sure we all want, because we love Michael Schumacher, bless him. But people still feel that he's not the most deserving champion, just as Max is in a way, because he had some very unruly victories, shady victories, discolored victories. But that aside, that's none of my business at this point. And finally, predictions and new regulations. It's hard to predict what's going to happen this season, to be honest, but I'm predicting that if Mercedes are going for damage limitation this early on, by the third race, by the next 2 weeks, by Saudi Arabia, if they are not on the second row, then yeah, they are not going to be title contenders. And another prediction, I'm loving the clarity, by the way, that the whole Lewis Hamilton Max Verstappen saga from Abu Dhabi has brought, because today we saw all the cars on lap themselves and all of that. It was funny. And investigations are going swiftly. They're canceling things out. Things are just clear. There's no communication anymore between team principals and the stewards, which is great. So I welcome most of the new regulations. And another thing is, I feel like everyone is is discovering something. So it's going to be hard to say who's going to win the title, to be honest. I mean, you cannot discount Lewis Hamilton. However, age is a telling factor in life. I mean, even when you don't feel it, it is happening to you. Okay? And then there is Charles, who was superb today, you know, with the whole comebacks against Max. Everybody loved it. Oh, everybody loved it. So we welcome that as well, that rivalry, you know. So yeah, my prediction or my hope is that I want to see Lewis, Charles, and Max fighting at the front. That's really what I predict. And yeah, that's my prediction for this season. And if Mercedes want to be in that fight, they have to show us by the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Thanks for watching. I will see you next week Sunday. Have a great week. Mwah.